My name is Andrea Porter, and I'm here for Claretian Associates. And Claretian Associates is a nonprofit agency located at 9108 South Brandon Avenue, Chicago, Illinois 60617. Our phone number is 773-734-9181, and our website is www.claretianassociates.org. Today, I'm here with my guest, Ms. Jasmine Gunn, also
Hi.
with Claretian Associates.
How's everyone tonight?
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good, good.
I don't like the rain, but that's fine.
Right. Oh, speaking of rain, I'm glad you brought up rain because today we'll actually be talking about a very important subject, and that's water conservation. I know last time when we had a conversation with Jasmine, she told us a little bit about solar energy and how we can save solar energy and how we can also use it to work for us and actually help us save money. And
Right.
so today we'll be talking a little bit about water conservation and why it's important, and also how it can help us, of course, save money.
Right.
So, Jasmine, my first question for you is, let's get down to the basics. Why is it important to conserve water?
Sure. So, the first is that the quantity and quality of water is very scarce, and also the demand for water continue to increase. And this is really happening mainly because the population is continuing to grow at a very fast rate.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of water is decreasing very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And once water is gone, it's gone. It's not coming back, it's wasted. And there is only 2.5% of the 1.4 billion tons of water that exist in the world
Oh, wow.
is only usable. And
when you say usable, do you mean we can't, like, we can drink that water?
right,
or
we
what
can
does
drink it
usable
and
mean?
use it in our showers and everything else.
Okay.
The rest is salt water, and we haven't found a way to use that for everyday use.
Okay.
And most of it is also inaccessible. So nearly 70% of the water in the world is locked up in glaciers and snow and ice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So another reason why water is also very important is because water is needed for survival,
Mm-hmm.
as you can see on the second bullet point there. So while you can go weeks without food, you can't go more than 1 week or days without water. So
Oh, wow.
water is very vital to life, and water for everyone, vital to everyone to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And not just people, plants, everything, all our food, all the animals, everyone needs water. Water is the source of life.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes scientists and space explorers look for water as a sign of life that exists on different planets.
Oh, yes.
So another reason why it's important to conserve water is because 1 billion people lack access to safe drinking water. And unsafe water conditions can also be deadly.
Mm-hmm.
So while in America we don't necessarily have a problem with access to water, but we have all seen the Flint, Michigan,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
they have a lot of contaminated water. And as our water systems are becoming older, they are becoming contaminated and unsafe to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And even in Chicago, there were cases of lead being found in the water. So water is unsafe all over the world, and that includes in America as well. So it is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And also, waterborne infections account for 80% of all infectious diseases in the world.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of diseases can be spread very quickly through water.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also, it is a great breeding ground for malaria, which takes the lives of about 1.2 million people a year. And roughly 5 million people die each year from poor living conditions and water conditions. And over half of those people that do pass away are actually children.
Oh, wow.
So I do want to show you a short clip and commercial,
Mm-hmm.
and it's regarding water conservation and the importance of water conservation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a quick little clip and a powerful thing that I think everyone should see. So as you can see from that short clip,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes we don't even think about it when we turn on the faucet to brush our teeth or wash our dishes, and
Right.
it's wasting a lot of water that many people around the world don't have access to
Mm-hmm.
as easily as we do.
Right.
So whenever you're brushing your teeth or any other instance, just think about all of the millions of people. I mean, it's a little dark, but think
It's
about all of the
important.
millions of people who don't have access to this water. And once you think about that, you really will
Mm-hmm.
put into perspective how important it is to conserve water.
Right. I think I really appreciate you beginning the conversation with framing how important of an issue it is. Definitely, water is a vital source of life, and whatever we can do to save water, conserve water, is definitely not only important for our society now, but also future generations and
Right.
to come. So thank you for that, and thank you also for that powerful video that really just displays how something so small as turning off the faucet when you're brushing your teeth can actually help to save a lot of water. And so here to give us, Jasmine's going to share some more tidbits with us in terms of how some other ways we can save water and conserve that resource. But I guess my next question is, obviously we know why it's important,
Right.
but what are some of the benefits of conserving water?
Right. So other than what we just stated, making sure that it is accessible for more people around the world, it also is, sorry, hold on one moment for me here. It also really is important, as you said, because it's making it sustainable for more people in the future.
Right.
So sustainable for future generations, because as I said in the beginning, once it's gone, it's gone. It's not coming back, so we need to conserve it so it can continue on.
Right.
Another thing is that it saves money. So about 7%, there's a 7% increase in taxes on water for the city of Chicago. Rahm Emanuel just recently proposed that. And what that 7% would look like is actually an average of spending $200 more on your water bill over the course of a year. And that can really add up as the years go on.
Right.
So it really would save you money to start conserving now to prepare for that almost inevitable tax hike. Another thing that a benefit from conserving water is that it protects our drinking water resources and also increased ability to handle emergencies such as drought. So in Chicago really hasn't faced many droughts, but sort of in the West and different areas of the country and in the world, there is drought. And when drought happens in these areas, especially where all the crops are being grown,
Right.
we want to make sure that they can get access to water
Right.
to help in those emergency situations. Another way that helps is that it minimizes water pollution and those health risks that I described earlier. It also reduces the need for costly water supply and new wastewater treatment facilities. So when we conserve water, we can make it last longer and our systems won't have to work as hard, and we won't have cases like Flint, Michigan, where we need to replace the whole system because it's been worn down and corroded.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so another one benefit is it maintains the health of the aquatic environments. So there are actually a ton of species that depend on water as their natural habitat.
Right.
So when we conserve water, we help protect these habitats, and we may not know the effect that it has on our lives, but there's a lot of benefits to having these creatures and animals in the water, and we will never know the deadly effects that could happen if these animals were to go away. So it is
Right.
important to help save their habitats.
Right.
And the last is that it saves energy. There are a lot of processes that use water in the energy systems, including to pump, heat, and treat water. So that's like your laundry machine, your dishwasher. When you take a shower, when you heat that water up or make it cold, that uses a lot of energy. That is a precious resource as well.
Yeah.
And there's also estimated 20 tons used of water just to make a set of paper. A case of paper. So even with paper, if you can save paper, you save a lot of water as well. So, water is used in a lot of processes that we don't think about, we take for granted. So it is important to really conserve that water.
That is, I have never known that before.
Yeah.
I did not know that, when you save paper, you save water. But it makes sense because in a lot of ways, water is related to everything that we do. Everything that we touch. So it really is a very important resource. And I think once we begin to frame, sort of how it is involved in every aspect of our lives, I think we can begin to take those steps to make sure that we're conserving water and that we're conserving resources in general. And so with that being said, could you let us know what's sort of the average uses of water that a person might do in their personal home? What's the average use?
So it does vary from winter to summer because typically in the summer months people are working more outside in their gardens and their lawns. But usually in the winter months and in the summer months, the biggest use of water is from the shower, the washing machine, and the toilet. So basically, if you can save water washing your clothes, using the bathroom, and also taking a shower. So for your personal hygiene, reducing that water can be a huge benefit. Now, as you can see on these charts here, outdoor does increase over the summer, and leaks are 2% and 4%, but keep in mind that small percentage can actually increase greatly if you do have major leaks in your system, in your at your home. So that number can take up a large chunk and really waste a lot of money if you do have leaks.
Oh, I see. Okay. And so I know that shower is a huge portion of it. And when I think of water conservation, I think I more so go to the shower.
Right.
So I'm curious to know, what is the average length of a shower?
Actually, when I was doing my research, I found that the average shower is 30 minutes. So even cutting that in half, which I think is very possible.
It's very doable.
And would, make a huge change because 30 minutes is a long time. And baths also waste a lot of water, but I think if you're taking the shower for 30 minutes, you probably could take a bath and it would be less than that amount.
And I'm not recommending this, definitely, but I did hear a study that apparently, technically, the human body can go 2 to 3 days without showering. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. There is a lot of, especially dermatologists who work with the skin, who say that taking excessively long showers, multiple days, can actually dry out your skin and be harmful to your skin. So there are some who recommend taking showers, every couple days, every other day, and spreading out, which could also help a lot with water conservation.
I'm sure it can.
I'm sure it will, yes.
I'm sure it can. Your coworkers might not appreciate it, but the earth certainly will. So yeah, consider that. If not, just try to cut down your showers. I'm sure that'll be sort of the same effect.
Yeah, make it shorter time over each day as opposed to really long times every single day.
Right, exactly. So other than that, though, what are some other usages that, might be in the home? Or what are some other ways we can cut water?
Cut water expenses?
Yeah.
Sure. So some ways to save water indoors in your home is to turn off the faucet while shaving, washing up, brushing teeth, and washing dishes. So as you saw in the commercial, when you're brushing your teeth, you don't need the water on. You also don't need the water on if you're washing individual dishes. You can lather up this dish while the water's off and then rinse them all off at the same time. And shaving, we don't shave, but I'm sure for the men out there, while you're shaving, you don't need the water on the whole time. So another thing you can also do is fix dripping and leaking faucets and toilets. I mentioned this before. If you have leaks, it's going to be very wasteful because you're not using the water, and the water's just running off and actually probably picking up chemicals and going back into a system somewhere. So it's not good all around, and it wastes you a lot of money. So make sure you fix those leaks. Don't run the tap water to make the water cold or hot. So by that I mean try to maybe collect some of that water and use it maybe to wash clothes or water your plants. There's also faucets that actually, if you set it to a certain temperature, once it reaches that temperature, it will pause and wait for you to get there so you can turn it on and use it, as opposed to you turning it on, waiting for it to get to a certain temperature, and then just guessing when is the right time. This one will tell you when the right time, when it gets hot enough, it'll pause and then let you move on from there.
That's awesome. That's So wonderful.
Yes. Another thing you can do is wash only full loads of dishes and laundry. It's very not wise to wash 2 or 3 dishes at a time, or just like, a couple pairs of clothes. Install water-saving plumbing fixtures such as sink aerators and low-flow shower heads. And I could talk about that a little bit more later. Also take shorter showers, as I said, and install sub-meters to track usage. So a lot of water companies, pretty much the city of Chicago, also will go out and install a water sub-meter if you don't already have it. And what that does is to track your water usage. So you can go online, create an online account with your water account, and you can see how much water you're using from month to month.
Oh, nice.
And when you need to reduce it. Or you can see if you have a leak, if the water just really shoots up one month, then you know something is off. If you haven't been purposely, using more water.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Another fun tip is to take a 1-song shower. Maybe I would take a 2-song shower. But pick a song, play it on your phone or something, and jam out to your favorite song, and try to finish that shower before the song ends or as the song is ending. And that's a fun way to take shorter showers.
Yeah. Also, if you have kids, maybe make it be a challenge for them to, shower before their song is off. It can be probably a lot of fun time. Probably very slippery, but I'm sure a lot of fun.
Right.
I think one of my favorite tips is probably the washing the full loads of dishes. Yeah. I really don't believe in washing dishes unless it's like about to like topple over in my
But
my
that's
sink.
a good tip. That's a good way to go about it, actually.
So now I have proof as to why I can't wash the dishes yet.
Exactly.
So there it is. But I'm curious to know, as far as like the dishwasher, is it more water to actually wash the dishes by hand, or is it more water to use a dishwasher? What do you think?
I think it depends on how you go about washing dishes by hand. I do know some people who have like little tubs in their sink.
Yeah.
So they fill the tub up in their sink with water, and then they just use that water. And that does save water because it's just a small amount in the tub.
Yeah.
As opposed to dishwasher. But if you're leaving the water running for like 30 minutes while you clean each dish, I mean, you might as well just use a dishwasher.
Okay.
I think it's comparable.
Okay. Oh, sounds good. Wonderful. So then, so those are all good inside, ways to save water, which are some really, really good tips. And I'm going to take some of these back home.
Right.
But what are some tips as far as outdoor usage?
Sure. So some outdoor usage. Some ways to save water outdoors is to raise your lawnmower cutting height. So longer grass actually needs less water to stay moisturized and healthy. So it's great to change the settings on your lawnmower so that you can allow your grass to stay longer when you cut it.
Cool.
Another way is to plant native plants adapted to local climate and rainfall. So, if you're using plants that are from different regions or parts of the world, chances are that they'll need more maintenance and they'll need more water to survive because these aren't the conditions that they usually live in.
Right.
So if you look up and research plants that are native to Chicago or native to where you live, that way you'll save less water and less maintenance and time for you to maintain those plants. Another great thing you can do is use permeable paving. So a lot of us have maybe, if you have a parking lot or a driveway and a sidewalk by your house and it's total concrete, the better way to be would be to replace that with pavers.
Okay.
And even if you see like a commercial parking lot with pavers instead of concrete, it's much more beneficial because it's better for stormwater management. It allows the water to drain more slowly. It allows the water to sink through the pavers as opposed to just like toppling off and rushing and filling up the stormwater management system really faster.
Okay.
Another good thing is to use drip and other low-flow irrigation devices. So there are devices that you can buy where you can take, it's a little drip system that slowly drips water out into your plants, and it's more directed right where the water needs to go. So it's more efficient to water your plants, and also it doesn't waste water when you're watering your plants and it goes everywhere. And it's a slow amount of water over time. That's less water than doing it all at once. Another way is to install a weather and time responsive watering system. So by this I mean There are some watering systems that have devices where they sense when it rains outside, they sense the humidity, and they sense the weather, so they won't sprinkle your lawn. Turn on the sprinklers, and this will, lower the amount of water you use, as opposed to having something programmed to water every day at this time.
Right.
It will shut off that day, and you can conserve water.
Got it.
Another one is to keep fire hydrants closed. This is for our Chicago people out there who like to play in the summertime. Good to keep the fire hydrants closed and used for only their purpose.
Yeah.
Another is to install a gray water system. So this system would pretty much be in place when you take the water from your laundry machine and your sinks, and the water isn't bad, and you haven't used the bathroom with it, it's not totally tainted, but it's not the cleanest water. And this water can actually somewhat be beneficial to your plants. So you take that water from like your laundry machine and your sink that is left over, and you use it to water your plants. So this way you recycle the water, and the water doesn't go back into the system. The last one is to install a rain barrel. And if you go to www.mwrd.org, this is the website where Chicago is actually giving away free rain barrels. So today it's raining. You could have collected some of that water in your rain barrel and used it throughout the house. And it's totally free, but because it's actually in popular demand right now,
nice.
The website said it's actually a 3-month wait. But since it's free, it wouldn't hurt to just put your name in there and, get a free rain barrel.
Oh, very nice. Cool. And so those are some great materials, like the rain barrel and things like that. So I don't know if you wanted to touch a little bit on water scents, because I know we talked about that in the last meeting. The last segment, we talked about the different approved products that will help people conserve resources. And I think the one for water is called Water Sense, right?
Yes.
So if you could elaborate a little bit on that, that'd be great.
Sure, I definitely can. So Water Sense is a partnership program with the EPA, or the Environmental Protection Agency. And this is pretty much a system set in place to promote water efficiency. So if you see that Water Sense label right here at the top, and it has the drop in it with green and blue, look for that Water Sense label on your toilets, your shower heads, your sink nozzles, and those things are probably low flow, energy efficient, and conserve water for you. So look for that label when you go out and you want to retrofit your home, or update your home to have better appliances. Another thing is also for your toilet. The older versions of toilets use up to 6 gallons of water per flush to when you use the bathroom, and now there are low flow toilets. They use just 2.5 gallons.
Oh, good.
And they just use more pressure and power, to flush everything.
Right.
And it's much more water efficient. And we're probably one of the only countries that uses fresh
water for
drinkable water for the toilet. So we definitely want to get those Water Sense toilets so that we can use less water.
Right. Sounds good. So are there any additional tips that maybe you have to share with us? Maybe
sure.
One or two?
Yeah, sure. Some other fun tips that you can do. The one that I like is don't use running water to thaw meat or frozen foods.
Oh, I do that a lot.
Yes. So a lot of times people are in a rush and they just turn on the hot water and they try to get the the meat and the things thawed out. Try to just plan ahead, put the meat in the refrigerator and put it out on the counter for a couple hours and let it thaw out. The one other tip that I would also give is to check for toilet tank leaks. So one fun tip that you can do is to take some food coloring. You can buy it really cheap at Walmart or anywhere. Put it in the tank at the top of your toilet. And if within 30 minutes you see that food coloring in your toilet bowl, that means you have a leak somewhere. And you need to look for old corroded pieces and find a way to fix that leak.
Okay.
And the last quick tip that I would give also is to store drinking water in the refrigerator. A lot of times we try to get cold water right out of the tap, but if you just store it in the refrigerator, you can have it nice and cold without wasting water.
Oh, that's wonderful, and I do practice that last one really well. So
great.
I am going to do better by thawing out, not running water to thaw out my meat, to thaw out my raw meat. And really briefly, a lot of these great tips we're going to put on our website, which will be under the blog section of our website, which is at www.claretianassociates.org. And we really want to take the time to say thank you to the Enterprise community partners that has really been very instrumental in training our staff and training our organization and learning some of these different ways to conserve water and to conserve energy and to be more environmentally friendly within our wonderful neighborhood of South Chicago. So thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.